Before we begin, take one slow, peaceful breath. Allow your shoulders to relax. Let the worries of today quietly drift away like gentle snowflakes disappearing into the endless white landscape. There is nowhere you need to be, nothing you need to finish. Tonight, you are traveling to one of the quietest places in America, a tiny village in the vast wilderness of Alaska. Long before modern highways reached the frozen north, long before cell phones and busy airports, there stood a small wooden post office beside a narrow, snow-covered trail. It was the last stop before the endless wilderness. Few travelers ever came this far. Those who did rarely forgot it. The village was called Frost Willow. It wasn't marked on many maps. Only a handful of families lived there. A few fishermen, a trapper, a school teacher, a baker, and one elderly postmaster. His name was Samuel Whitmore. For nearly 40 years, Samuel had delivered letters across snow-covered forests, frozen rivers, and silent mountain paths. He knew every trail, every pine tree, every frozen stream. Even the ravens seemed to recognize him. Every morning before sunrise, Samuel would wake inside his cozy log cabin. The first sound he heard was always the gentle crackling of the fireplace. He carefully added another log to the fire. The flames danced softly, filling the room with comforting warmth. Outside, snow continued falling, quietly, patiently, as it always seemed to do in Alaska. Samuel placed an old iron kettle above the fire. Soon, the gentle whistle of boiling water filled the cabin. He prepared a simple cup of tea. Then he stood beside the frosted window. The world outside was completely white. The tall spruce trees wore thick blankets of fresh snow. Far away, the mountains rested beneath pale morning clouds. Everything felt peaceful, almost timeless. After breakfast, Samuel pulled on his heavy wool coat, his thick leather boots, his warm mittens, and finally, his old fur hat. The same hat he had worn for nearly 20 winters. He smiled each time he picked it up. It had become as faithful a companion as the Northern Trail itself. Before leaving, Samuel looked toward a small wooden shelf. There rested an old leather mailbag. Its edges had become soft from decades of careful use. Thousands of letters had traveled inside it. Letters carrying hope, love, good news, birthday wishes, Christmas greetings, and sometimes messages that quietly changed someone's life forever. Samuel gently lifted the bag onto his shoulder. Outside, the cold air greeted him kindly. His breath drifted into the morning sky like little white clouds. The snow beneath his boots made a soft crunch with every step. Nearby, a pair of snowshoe hares hopped quietly between the trees. A curious red fox paused for just a moment before disappearing into the forest. Above him, a bald eagle circled slowly across the pale blue sky. Nature welcomed another peaceful day. The village itself was beginning
Warm
to
smoke rose gently from snowy fences. The village baker opened her little shop. Soon, the wonderful smell of fresh bread floated through the crisp morning air. Samuel stopped, just as he always did. "Good morning," the baker called with a smile. "And a peaceful morning to you," Samuel replied. She handed him a warm loaf of bread wrapped in cloth. "For your journey." He thanked her kindly. Acts of kindness had always traveled through Frost Willow, just just as faithfully as the mail itself. Soon, Samuel reached the tiny post office. It was a simple wooden building. Nothing grand, nothing famous. Yet to the people of Frost Willow, it was the heart of the village. Inside waited neat stacks of letters, small parcels tied carefully with twine, a few newspapers from distant cities, and one mysterious envelope. Unlike the others, this envelope had no return address, only one simple line written in beautiful handwriting. For the Postmaster of Frost Willow. Samuel looked at it quietly. He smiled, then placed it gently into his leather mailbag. Some letters, he believed, always arrived exactly when they were meant to. Outside, snowflakes continued falling softly from the quiet Alaskan sky. The village settled peacefully into another winter day. And somewhere, hidden within that mysterious envelope, a gentle story was waiting to unfold. As you listen, allow the warmth of Samuel's little cabin, the peaceful silence of the snowy forest, and the slow rhythm of falling snow to gently guide you toward rest. The night is quiet. Is warm, and sleep is slowly finding its way to you. Take a slow, deep breath. The fire is warm. The snow is falling softly. Everything is quiet. Samuel, the old postmaster, stands inside the small post office. The room is simple. There is a wooden desk, a small stove, clock on the wall, and many letters waiting to be delivered. Samuel picks up the special letter again. On the front, it says only, "For the Postmaster of Frost Willow." There is no name. There is no return address. Samuel smiles. He places the letter carefully inside his leather bag. "It can wait until this evening," he says softly. First, the other letters must reach their homes. He steps outside. The cold air is fresh. The snow makes a soft sound under his boots. Crunch, crunch, crunch. The village is peaceful. Thin smoke rises from the chimneys. A dog sleeps on a wooden porch. A little boy waves as Samuel walks by. "Good morning, Mr. Samuel." "Good morning," Samuel replies with a smile. His first stop is a small cabin near the frozen river. An old woman named Martha lives there. She opens the door before Samuel can knock. "I knew you would come," she says kindly. Samuel laughs. "You always do." He gives her a letter. Her face lights up. "It is from my grandson," she says. "He works far away now." She holds the letter close to her heart before opening it. Samuel does not stay. He knows that some letters are private. Some moments belong only to the family. He simply tips his hat and continues walking. Snow keeps falling. The forest is quiet. A rabbit jumps across the path. Small birds sit in the pine trees. Everything feels calm. His next stop is the village school. The children are playing outside. As soon as they see Samuel, they run toward him. "Did any letters come for us?" one little girl asks. Samuel smiles. "Not today." The children laugh anyway. They like seeing the old postmaster. He always has kind words and a warm smile. The teacher comes outside. She thanks Samuel for bringing a new box of books. "The children love new stories," she says. Samuel nods. Books travel just like letters.
They carry people to new places. The teacher smiles. I think that is true. The morning slowly becomes afternoon. The sky stays soft and gray. Snowflakes fall slowly from above. There is no strong wind, only quiet, only peace. Soon, Samuel has only one letter left, the strange letter, the one with no name. He walks back to his little cabin. The fire is still burning. He hangs his coat by the door. He makes another cup of warm tea. Then he sits in his favorite wooden chair. The letter rests on the small table beside him. For a long moment, he simply looks at it. Outside, the snow keeps falling. Inside, the room is warm and quiet. Samuel gently opens the envelope. Inside, there is only one piece of paper and one simple sentence. It says, "Thank you for bringing hope to this village for so many years." Samuel reads the words again. Then he smiles, a small, peaceful smile. He does not know who wrote the letter. Perhaps he never will. But somehow, that does not matter. He carefully folds the paper, places it back into the envelope, and sets it beside the fire. Some letters bring news, some bring memories, and some simply remind us that kindness is never forgotten. Outside, the evening slowly arrives. The snow continues to fall. The village grows quiet, and another peaceful night begins in Frost Willow. Take a slow, gentle breath. The fire is warm. The snow is soft. The little village of Frost Willow is still quiet. A new morning begins. Samuel wakes before the sun. He puts another log on the fire. The room becomes warm again. He makes a cup of hot tea. Then he looks out of the window. Fresh snow covers the trees. The sky is light blue. It is going to be a peaceful day. Samuel smiles. Today is Friday. Friday is special in Frost Willow. Every Friday, a small mail sled arrives from the next town. It brings letters, newspapers, and small packages. The people in the village always look forward to it. After breakfast, Samuel walks to the post office. He opens the wooden door. The little clock on the wall ticks slowly. Tick, tick, tick. He sweeps the floor. He cleans the desk. Then he waits. Around mid-morning, he hears a familiar sound. Small bells. Jingle, jingle, jingle. The mail sled is coming. Two strong dogs pull the sled through the snow. Their owner, Mr. Henry, smiles as he stops outside the post office. Good morning, Samuel. Good morning, Henry. Was the trail safe? Henry nods. It was cold, but very peaceful. Together, they carry the mail inside. There are only a few letters today, a small package, some newspapers, and one box of warm wool socks for the village store. Samuel carefully sorts everything. Just then, the door opens. A little boy walks inside. His name is Ben. He is about 10 years old. Every Friday, he comes to the post office. He always asks the same question. Mr. Samuel, is there a letter for my father? Samuel knows why. Ben's father works far away in another part of Alaska. He cannot come home very often.
but he writes whenever he can. Samuel checks the letters one by one. Then his face becomes bright. "Yes," he says gently, "there is one today." Ben's eyes fill with happiness. "Really?" Samuel hands him the letter with great care. The boy holds it like a treasure. "Thank you," he says with a big smile. Then he runs home through the snow. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Samuel watches him from the window. He smiles quietly. Sometimes one small letter can make a whole day brighter. In the afternoon, Samuel delivers the rest of the mail. He walks slowly through the village. Everyone greets him with a smile. At sunset, he returns to his cabin. He lights a small oil lamp. The warm yellow light fills the room. He sits in his favorite chair. Outside, snow falls gently. The wind is quiet. Inside, everything feels safe. Samuel looks at the mysterious letter once more. He still does not know who wrote it, but every time he reads it, his heart feels warm. He closes his eyes for a moment. Then he whispers, "Kind words are like warm light. They stay with us for a long time." Outside, the stars begin to appear above the snowy mountains. The little village becomes silent. The fire burns softly, and another peaceful night begins in Frost Willow. Take a slow, gentle breath. The morning is quiet. The snow is soft. The little village of Frost Willow is waking up. The sky is light gray. A few snowflakes fall from the clouds. Samuel opens the door of his cabin. The cold air touches his face. He smiles. It is another beautiful day. He walks slowly to the post office. The snow makes a soft sound under his boots. Crunch, crunch, crunch. On the way, he smells something wonderful. Fresh bread. The smell comes from the village bakery, just as always. Mrs. Rose, the baker, is already busy. She waves from the window. "Good morning, Samuel." "Good morning, Rose." She comes outside with a warm loaf of bread. "Take this," she says. "It came out of the oven just a few minutes ago." Samuel laughs softly. "You spoil me." Rose smiles. "No, good people deserve warm bread." Samuel thanks her and continues walking. The bread is still warm in his hands. It makes the cold morning feel a little warmer. At the post office, only a few letters are waiting today. Winter is always quiet. People write fewer letters when the snow is deep. Samuel places the letters into his old leather bag. Then he starts his walk. His first stop is a small blue cabin. An old man named Mr. Peter lives there. Peter opens the door slowly. His white beard is covered with tiny snowflakes. "I have something for you," Samuel says. He hands Peter a letter. Peter smiles. "It is from my sister. She lives far away now." Samuel nods. "I hope it brings happy news." "I think it will," Peter says. Before Samuel leaves, Peter breaks a small piece from the warm bread. The two friends eat quietly for a moment. No hurry, no loud words. Only fresh bread, cold air, and good company. Samuel continues walking. The village is peaceful. A cat sleeps on a wooden step. Smoke rises from the chimneys. Children build a small snowman near the school. They laugh as they place a red scarf around its neck. Samuel stops to watch. One little girl waves. "Mr. Samuel, does our snowman look nice?" Samuel smiles. "It looks wonderful. I think it is the happiest snowman in Alaska." The children laugh together. Their happy voices fill the quiet morning. Later that afternoon, the sun comes out for a short time. Its light shines on the snow. Everything sparkles like tiny diamonds. Samuel stands on a small hill. He looks across the village. It is not a big place. There are no tall buildings, no busy roads, only small cabins, friendly faces, and peaceful days. He thinks to himself, a quiet life can be a happy life. As evening comes, Samuel walks back home. He lights the fire. The little cabin becomes warm again. He cuts a slice of the bread Mrs. Rose gave him. He pours a cup of hot tea. Outside, the snow falls softly. Inside, the fire crackles gently. Samuel smiles. Tomorrow will bring another sunrise, another walk through the snow, another chance to carry letters, and perhaps another chance to make someone smile. The little village grows quiet. The stars slowly appear above the snowy mountains. The warm fire glows softly, and the peaceful night gently welcomes everyone to rest. Take a slow, peaceful breath. The fire is warm. The room is quiet. Outside, fresh snow covers the little village of Frost Willow. The morning sun shines softly through the pine trees. Everything looks bright and clean. Samuel wakes early, as he always does. He makes a cup of hot tea. He puts on his warm coat. Then he picks up his old leather mailbag. It has been with him for many years. The leather is old now, but it is still strong. Samuel smiles. "Let's begin another good day," he says softly. He walks to the post office. When he opens the door, he finds a small package waiting on his desk. It is wrapped in brown paper. A small note is tied to it. The note says, "For Emma." Samuel knows Emma. She is a little girl who lives with her parents at the edge of the village. Their cabin has a small red mailbox in front of it. Emma loves that mailbox. Every morning, she opens it with hope. Most days, it is empty, but she still smiles. She always believes that one day a letter will come. Samuel places the package carefully into his mailbag. Then he begins his walk. The snow is soft. The air is fresh. Small birds fly from one pine tree to another. A gentle wind moves through the forest. Soon, Samuel reaches Emma's cabin. The little red mailbox stands beside the snowy path, just as bright as always. Emma is outside, making a tiny snow house. When she sees Samuel, her eyes become wide. "Good morning, Mr. Samuel." "Good morning, Emma. I have something for you today." Emma stops moving. "For me?" Samuel nods. "Yes." He hands her the small package. Emma holds it carefully with both hands. "It has my name," she whispers. Her mother opens the front door. She smiles warmly. "Thank you, Samuel." Emma slowly unties the string. Inside the package is a small storybook. The cover shows a white owl flying over snowy mountains. Emma smiles from ear to ear. "I love books," she says. Samuel smiles too. I know. Books are like good friends. They stay with us. Emma hugs the book tightly. I will read one page every night. That sounds like a wonderful plan, Samuel says. He waves goodbye and continues walking. The day is peaceful. He delivers the last few letters. He talks with friendly neighbors. He smiles at children playing in the snow. By late afternoon, the sky turns soft pink and orange. The mountains glow in the evening light. Samuel walks home slowly. He enjoys every step. Back inside his cabin, he lights the fire. He sits by the window with a warm cup of tea. Outside, he can see tiny lights shining from the village homes. Each light reminds him of a family. Each family has its own story. Samuel closes his eyes for a moment. He feels thankful. Not because he has a big house, not because he has many things, but because every day he has a chance to bring a little happiness to someone. Outside, the stars begin to fill the Alaskan sky. The snow shines under the moonlight. A little red mailbox stands quietly beside Emma's cabin. And somewhere inside, a little girl is opening the first page of her new storybook with a happy smile. Take a slow, gentle breath. The fire is warm. The snow is soft. The village is still sleeping. A new day begins in Frost Willow. Samuel wakes before the sun. He opens the window just a little. Cold, fresh air comes into the cabin. He smiles. The sky is clear today. Many stars are still shining above the snowy mountains. He makes a cup of hot tea. Then he puts on his warm coat, his wool hat, and his old leather boots. He picks up his mailbag. Another peaceful day is waiting. Outside, the snow is deep. The village is quiet. Only the sound of Samuel's footsteps can be heard. Crunch, crunch, crunch. As he walks, he reaches a small wooden bridge. The bridge crosses a narrow river. In summer, the water flows gently. But now, the river is covered with ice. The bridge is old. Samuel has walked across it for many years. He always stops in the middle, just for a moment. It is one of his favorite places. Today, he stops again. He looks around. Tall pine trees stand quietly on both sides of the river. A little snow falls from the branches. Everything is calm. Everything is still. A small bird lands on the wooden rail. It looks at Samuel for a few seconds. Samuel smiles. Good morning, little friend. The bird sings a soft song. Then it flies away into the forest. Samuel watches until it disappears. Sometimes, the smallest moments become the happiest memories. He continues his walk. Soon, he arrives at a small cabin near the bridge. A young woman named Anna lives there with her grandfather. Samuel knocks gently. Knock. Knock. The door opens. Good morning, Samuel, Anna says with a smile. I have a letter for your grandfather. Anna thanks him and calls inside. Grandpa, your letter is here. An old man walks slowly to the door. His face becomes bright when he sees the envelope. It is from my old friend, he says. We grew up together. Samuel smiles. I hope you enjoy reading it. I know I will, the old man replies. Before Samuel leaves, Anna gives him a small paper bag. Inside are 2 homemade cookies.
"I baked them this morning," she says, "for your walk." Samuel thanks her kindly. He places the bag carefully inside his coat pocket. Later, he sits on a large tree stump beside the snowy path. He drinks warm tea from a small metal cup. He eats one cookie. It is soft and sweet. The warm taste makes him smile. Far away, he hears children laughing. Someone is pulling a sled across the snow. A dog barks happily. Life in Frost Willow is simple. No one is in a hurry. People help each other. They share food. They share stories. And they always greet each other with a smile. As the afternoon slowly ends, Samuel walks back across the little wooden bridge. The sun is setting. The sky is filled with soft orange, pink, and purple colors. The snow shines like tiny stars. Samuel stops in the middle of the bridge one last time. He takes a deep breath. "This is a beautiful day," he whispers. Then he smiles and walks home. Soon, the lights begin to glow inside the little cabins. The stars return to the sky. The village becomes quiet once again. The fire waits inside Samuel's cabin. The warm chair waits beside the window. And another peaceful night begins in the snowy village of Frost Willow. Take a slow, peaceful breath. Feel your body becoming soft and relaxed. Outside, the snow is falling gently. Inside, everything is warm and quiet. A new morning begins in Frost Willow. Samuel wakes before the first light of the day. He makes a warm cup of tea. He opens the small wooden door of his cabin. The cold air feels fresh. The sky is still dark blue. Far away, the snowy mountains are sleeping under the morning stars. Samuel smiles. Today is the day the little train comes. Only once every week, a small train visits the village. It brings food,
medicine, letters, and sometimes a few visitors. After breakfast, Samuel walks to the post office. He sorts the letters one by one. Then he puts on his warm gloves. Outside, the village is slowly waking up. Children wave as they walk to school. Mrs. Rose opens her bakery. The sweet smell of fresh bread fills the cold air. Around noon, a soft sound reaches the village. It is the train whistle. Not loud, not fast, just gentle. The little train moves slowly through the snow. Its black engine sends white steam into the cold sky. Samuel walks to the small train station. It is a simple place. Just a short wooden platform, a small waiting room, and one old bench. The train stops with a soft hiss. The conductor opens the door. "Good afternoon, Samuel," he says. "Good afternoon." The conductor hands him a canvas mail bag. "Not many letters today," he says with a smile. Samuel laughs softly. "Sometimes a few letters are enough." The conductor nods. That is true. A young woman steps off the train. She looks around quietly. "It is my first time in Frost Willow," she says. Samuel smiles warmly. "Welcome. I hope you enjoy your stay." She smiles back. "It is so peaceful here." Samuel looks around the snowy village. "Yes," he says. "It has always been peaceful." Soon, the train blows its whistle again. Slowly, it begins gently over the snowy tracks. Little by little, the train disappears behind the pine trees. The village becomes quiet once more. Samuel carries the new mail back to the post office. There are only a few letters, one small package, and a postcard showing a beautiful lake far away. He sorts everything carefully. As the afternoon comes to an end, he delivers the last letter. The sky turns golden. Snow sparkles under the evening light. When Samuel returns home, he lights the fire. He sits in his favorite chair. A warm blanket rests across his knees. He listens to the quiet sound of the wind outside. It is a peaceful sound, a gentle sound, the kind of sound that makes the whole world feel calm. The train will come again next week, he whispers. But tonight, the village is quiet. The letters have reached their homes, and that is enough. Outside, the stars slowly appear above Alaska. The snow shines under the moonlight. The little train is now far away, but Frost Willow remains warm, peaceful, and ready for another quiet night. Take a slow, peaceful breath. Let your eyes feel heavy. Let your mind become quiet. Outside, the night is cold, but inside Samuel's little cabin, the fire is warm. The room is peaceful. A new day begins in Frost Willow. Samuel wakes early. He puts another log on the fire. The flames dance softly. He makes a cup of hot tea. Then he looks out the window. The sky is clear. The snow shines in the morning light. It will be a beautiful day, he says with a smile. After breakfast, Samuel walks to the post office. There are only a few letters today. A postcard, 2 small packages, and 3 letters. He places them carefully into his old leather bag. Then he starts his walk. His first stop is the village store. The owner, Mr. David, is sweeping the snow from the front door.
Good morning, Samuel. Good morning, David. I have a letter for you. David smiles. My daughter wrote again. She always remembers her father. Samuel nods. That is a wonderful gift. David thanks him and places the letter safely in his pocket. Samuel continues walking through the village. The snow is soft. The air is fresh. Everything is calm. Children are building a small snow fort. A dog runs happily around them. Its tail moves back and forth. The children laugh. Samuel laughs too. Happy sounds make the cold day feel warm. The afternoon passes slowly. Soon the sun begins to go down. The sky changes from blue to pink, then to deep purple. Samuel finishes his work. He walks back to his cabin. He makes hot soup. He eats fresh bread. Then he sits beside the fire with a warm blanket. Outside, the night becomes very dark. Suddenly, someone knocks on the door. Knock, knock. It is little Emma. She looks excited. Mr. Samuel, you have to come outside. Samuel smiles. What is it? The sky. Samuel puts on his coat. Together, they walk outside. The whole village is looking up. The stars are bright. Then, something amazing begins to happen. Soft green light appears across the sky. It moves slowly, like a gentle river of light. Soon, purple colors join the green. Then a little blue. The lights dance quietly above the snowy mountains. It looks like magic. Samuel smiles. I think they are saying good evening to everyone.
Emma laughs softly.
I like that.
After a while, the lights begin to fade. The sky becomes dark once more. The stars shine quietly above Frost Willow. Samuel walks back to his cabin. Before going inside, he looks at the sky one last time. He smiles. "Some beautiful things," he whispers, "do not stay for long, but we remember them forever." The fire is still burning. The cabin is warm. Outside, the snowy village sleeps peacefully. And above Alaska, take a slow, deep breath. The fire is warm. The room is quiet. Outside, snow is falling gently over Frost Willow. The village is still sleeping. Samuel wakes before sunrise. He lights the fire. He makes a cup of hot tea. Then he puts on his warm coat and his old fur hat. Another peaceful day is ready to begin. He walks to the post office. The little clock on the wall is ticking. Tick, tick, tick. Samuel smiles. He enjoys the quiet mornings. They help him think. Today, there are only a few letters. He places them carefully inside his old leather mail bag. Then he begins his walk through the village. The snow is fresh. His boots leave clear footprints behind him. Crunch, crunch, crunch. His first few stops are easy. Every letter reaches the right home. Every neighbor greets him with a smile. Around noon, Samuel walks through a quiet forest path. The tall pine trees are covered with snow. Everything is peaceful. Suddenly, a light wind begins to blow. Not a strong wind, just enough to move the falling snow. Samuel feels something touch his shoulder. He looks behind him. One white envelope has slipped from his mailbag. The wind carries it gently across the snow. "Oh," Samuel says softly. "There you are." The letter slides a little farther. Then it stops beside a small pine tree. Samuel walks over slowly. He picks it up carefully. The envelope is clean and dry. He brushes away a few snowflakes with his mitten. Then he smiles. "Every letter has a home," he whispers, "and every home is waiting." He places the letter safely back inside his bag. This time, he closes the bag a little tighter. The wind becomes quiet again. The forest returns to its peaceful silence. A small squirrel runs across a snowy branch. A tiny bird sings for just a few seconds. Then, everything is still. Samuel continues his walk. Soon he reaches a little green cabin. An elderly woman opens the door. "I was hoping to see you today," she says kindly. Samuel smiles. "I have something for you." He hands her the letter. She thanks him with a warm smile. "I always enjoy hearing from my sister." Samuel tips his hat. "I hope it brings happy news." "I think it will," she replies. As the afternoon ends, the clouds begin to clear. The sun shines softly across the snow. Everything sparkles like tiny stars. Samuel stops for a moment on a small hill. He looks at the quiet village below. Thin smoke rises from the chimneys. Children are walking home from school. A dog follows them happily through the snow. It is a simple day, a peaceful day, the another cup of hot tea. Then he sits beside the fire. He remembers the little letter that almost disappeared into the snow. It makes him smile. So many people are waiting for good news, he says quietly. I must always take good care of every letter. Outside, the evening sky slowly fills with stars. The snow shines under the moonlight. The little village grows quiet once again. The fire burns softly. The wind becomes still. And another peaceful night gently settles over Frost Willow. Take a slow, peaceful breath. Feel your body relax. The fire is warm. The snow is quiet. Another beautiful morning begins in Frost Willow. Samuel wakes before the sun. He lights the fire. He makes a cup of hot tea. He sits by the window for a few minutes. Outside, the snow falls slowly. The pine trees stand tall and still. Everything feels peaceful. Soon, Samuel puts on his warm coat. He picks up his old leather mailbag. Then he walks to the post office. Today, there are only a few letters. One small package catches his eye. It is wrapped in brown paper. On the label, it says, "For Mrs. Helen." Samuel smiles. Mrs. Helen is one of the oldest people in the village. She lives alone in a small cabin near the frozen lake. Then he begins his walk. Crunch, crunch, crunch. His boots leave fresh footprints in the snow. The morning air is cold, but the bright sunshine makes everything feel warm. After a quiet walk, Samuel reaches Mrs. Helen's cabin. He knocks gently. Knock, knock. The door opens slowly. Mrs. Helen smiles. Good morning, Samuel. Good morning, Helen. I have a package for you. Oh, I have been waiting for this. She carefully opens the paper. Inside is a small wooden music box. It is round and smooth. The wood shines softly in the light. Mrs. Helen gently turns the little handle. A sweet, quiet song begins to play. The soft music fills the little cabin. Samuel listens quietly. It is beautiful, he says. Mrs. Helen smiles. My father gave me one just like this when I was a little girl. It was lost many years ago. My granddaughter found another one for me. She closes her eyes as the music plays. It brings back happy memories. Samuel smiles. Some gifts are small, but they carry big memories. Mrs. Helen nods. That is true. She thanks Samuel warmly. Before he leaves, she gives him a warm blueberry muffin she baked that morning. For your walk. Samuel laughs softly. Thank you. It smells wonderful. He continues his journey through the snowy village. The little music stays in his mind. It is calm, gentle, peaceful, just like Frost Willow. Later that afternoon, Samuel sits on a wooden bench near the frozen lake. He drinks hot tea from his small metal cup. The lake is covered with white snow. The mountains stand quietly beyond it. Not a single sound can be heard. Only peace, only stillness. Samuel smiles. He thinks, the world does not always need loud sounds. Sometimes a quiet song is enough.
As the sun begins to set, the sky becomes soft pink and golden. Samuel walks home slowly. Inside his cabin, the fire is waiting. He hangs his coat by the door. He pours one last cup of tea. Then he sits beside the warm fire. Outside, snow falls gently. Inside, everything is calm. Somewhere across the village, Mrs. Helen winds her little music box once more. Its gentle melody fills her cozy cabin, and the peaceful sound drifts softly into another quiet winter night in Frost Willow. Take a slow, peaceful breath. Feel your body become calm. The fire is warm. The room is quiet. Outside, soft snow is falling over Frost Willow. A new morning begins. Samuel wakes with a gentle smile. He puts another log on the fire. The flames grow a little brighter. He makes a warm cup of tea. Then he opens the front door. The cold air is fresh. The sky is clear. Far away, the mountains shine under the morning light. It is a beautiful day, Samuel says softly. He walks to the post office. The little clock is ticking. Tick, tick, tick. Only a few letters are waiting today. Samuel places them carefully into his old leather mailbag. Then he begins his walk. The village is peaceful. Thin smoke rises from the chimneys. A little cat sleeps on a wooden porch. Children wave as they walk to school. "Good morning, Mr. Samuel." "Good morning," he replies with a smile. Soon, Samuel reaches the school. The teacher is standing outside. She smiles as she sees him. "I have a letter for you," Samuel says. The teacher thanks him. Then she smiles again. "The children are having a small winter party today. Would you like to visit for a few minutes?" Samuel nods. "I would be happy to." Inside the school, the room feels warm. Colorful paper snowflakes hang from the walls. The children are sitting around small wooden tables. When they see Samuel, they all smile. "Mr. Samuel is here." One little boy walks over with a warm cup. "We made hot cocoa. This one is for you." Samuel takes the cup carefully. The sweet smell of chocolate fills the air. He takes one small sip. It is warm, smooth, and comforting. "Thank you," he says. "It is delicious." The children smile proudly. One little girl asks, "Mr. Samuel, what is your favorite part of winter?" Samuel thinks for a moment. Then he smiles. "I like quiet mornings. I like warm fires. I like fresh snow. And I like seeing happy people." The children listen carefully. Then one little boy says, "I like hot cocoa." Everyone laughs softly, even Samuel. The room feels full of kindness. Before he leaves, the children give Samuel a small drawing. It shows a snowy village, a little post office, and Samuel walking with his old leather mailbag. Above the picture, they have written, "Thank you, Mr. Samuel." Samuel looks at the drawing for a long moment. His eyes become warm. "I will keep this," he says quietly. "I will always remember it." He places the drawing safely inside his mailbag. Then he waves goodbye. Outside, the snow is still falling gently. Samuel finishes delivering the rest of the letters. As the afternoon ends, he walks home.
The sky becomes soft orange. The trees stand quietly in the snow. Back inside his cabin, he hangs the children's drawing on the wall beside the fireplace. He sits in his favorite chair. The warm fire glows softly. He smiles as he looks at the picture. Sometimes, the greatest gift is not a package, not a letter, not even a beautiful story. Sometimes, the greatest gift is knowing that someone remembers you with kindness. Outside, the stars slowly appear above Alaska. The village becomes quiet. The fire keeps burning. The snow keeps falling. And another peaceful night gently wraps Frost Willow in warmth and silence. Take a slow, peaceful breath. The fire is warm. The room is quiet. Outside, soft snow is falling once again. The little village of Frost Willow is waking up. Today is market day. It comes only once every month. People from small villages nearby travel through the snow to meet their friends. They bring fresh bread, warm soup, handmade scarves, wooden toys, honey, and warm smiles. Samuel wakes early. He lights the fire. He enjoys a warm cup of tea. Then he puts on his heavy coat and old fur hat. He picks up his leather mail bag. There may be many letters today, he says with a gentle smile. When he reaches the post office, he is right. Many new letters have arrived. Some are from nearby towns. Some have traveled hundreds of miles. One by one, Samuel sorts them carefully. Every letter has a name. Every name has a home. Soon, the village square becomes busy. Not noisy, just happy. People greet each other. Good morning. It is nice to see you again. Children run through the snow, pulling little wooden sleds. The smell of fresh bread fills the cold air. Mrs. Rose stands behind her bakery table. She waves to Samuel. I saved your favorite cinnamon bread. Samuel smiles. You always remember. She laughs. Of course. Nearby, Mr. David pours warm apple cider into small cups. The sweet smell fills the air. Samuel takes one cup. The warm drink feels wonderful on the cold day. As he walks through the market, many people stop to say hello. Some ask if there is a letter for them. Some simply want to wish him a good day. Samuel enjoys every conversation. A little girl walks up to him with a tiny gift. It is a small snowflake made from wood. I made this for you, she says shyly. Samuel kneels down and smiles. It is beautiful. I will keep it in my cabin. The little girl smiles proudly. Later, Samuel notices an old man sitting alone on a bench. He walks over. Good afternoon. The old man smiles. I was just watching everyone. They all look happy. Samuel nods. Yes, a small village has a big heart. The old man laughs softly. I think you are right. The afternoon passes slowly. The market begins to close. People wave goodbye as they return home. The village becomes quiet once more. Fresh snow covers the footprints left behind. Samuel walks back to his cabin. Inside, he hangs the little wooden snowflake beside the children's drawing. The wall is slowly filling with happy memories. He lights the fire. He pours one last cup of tea. Then he sits by the window. Outside, the market square is empty again. Only the falling snow remains. Samuel smiles. The wind is gentle. The stars begin to appear above the snowy mountains, and another peaceful night settles over Frost Willow, bringing warmth, quiet, and the promise of another beautiful tomorrow. Take a slow, peaceful breath. The fire is warm. The room is quiet. Outside, soft snow is resting on the rooftops of Frost Willow. The morning is calm. The sky is clear. Samuel wakes before sunrise. He lights the fire. He makes a warm cup of tea. For a few minutes, he sits by the window. He watches the snow sparkle in the morning light. It is going to be another peaceful day, he says softly. After breakfast, Samuel puts on his warm coat. He picks up his old leather mailbag. Then he walks slowly toward the post office. Crunch, crunch, crunch. The snow is fresh beneath his boots. When he reaches the post office, he finds several letters waiting. There is also a small wooden box. A note is tied to the top. It says, "For the village library." Samuel smiles. The library is one of his favorite places. It is a small wooden building near the school. Inside, there are only a few shelves, but every shelf is filled with wonderful stories. Children love to visit after school. Adults come on quiet evenings to read by the fire. Samuel carefully carries the box through the snowy streets. Soon, he reaches the library. Mrs. Grace, the librarian, opens the door. "Good morning, Samuel." "Good morning, Grace. I have something for you." She looks at the wooden box and smiles. "Our new books have arrived." Together, they place the box on a large wooden table. Mrs. Grace opens it slowly. Inside are several new books. One has stories about birds. Another is filled with beautiful pictures of Alaska. One tells the story of a little bear, and another is a book of old folk tales. Mrs. Grace smiles with joy. The children will love these. Samuel gently picks up one of the books. He turns a few pages. The pictures are bright. The words are simple. It feels warm and welcoming. Just then, a few children walk into the library. Their boots are covered with snow. When they see the new books, their eyes grow wide. "New stories," one little boy says. A little girl carefully picks up the book about birds. "I want to read this one." Mrs. Grace laughs softly. There are enough stories for everyone. The children sit quietly on a soft rug near the fireplace. Soon, the only sound in the room is the turning of pages. Flip, flip, flip. Samuel watches them for a moment. He smiles. Books are quiet, but they can take people on the greatest journeys without leaving their chairs. Before he leaves, Mrs. Grace hands Samuel a bookmark made from smooth wood. She carved it herself. On it are simple words. Every story finds a home. Samuel looks at the little bookmark. He smiles warmly. "Thank you. I will keep this with my favorite book." Outside, the afternoon sun shines softly on the snow. Samuel finishes delivering the last few letters. Then he walks home at his usual slow pace. Inside his cabin, he lights the fire. He places the wooden bookmark inside the book beside his chair. Then he pours a warm cup of tea. The fire crackles gently. Outside, the village grows quiet. The library lights glow softly through the snowy evening. Inside, children are still reading their new stories, and Samuel smiles, knowing that today he delivered more than letters.
he delivered new adventures, new dreams, and new memories. The stars slowly appeared above the peaceful Alaskan sky. The snow shines beneath their gentle light, and another calm night settles over Frost Willow. Take a slow, peaceful breath. Let your body feel heavy. Let your mind become quiet. Outside, the snow is soft. The wind is gentle. The little village of Frost Willow is still asleep. Samuel wakes before the sun. He lights the fire. The cabin becomes warm. He makes a cup of hot tea and sits by the window. The sky is dark blue. A few stars are still shining. The world is calm. After breakfast, Samuel puts on his warm coat. He picks up his old leather mail bag. Then he walks to the post office. Only a few letters are waiting today. It will be another quiet day. Samuel smiles. He likes quiet days. He walks slowly through the village. Crunch, crunch, crunch. His boots leave fresh footprints in the snow. He delivers letters to each home. At every door, someone smiles. Someone waves. Thank you, Samuel. Those simple words always make his day a little brighter. By the afternoon, all the letters have been delivered. Samuel decides to take the long path home. The path goes beside the frozen lake. It is one of the most peaceful places in Frost Willow. The lake is covered with smooth white snow. Tall pine trees stand all around it. Everything is still. Near the lake, Samuel notices a small wooden lantern. It is hanging from a short post beside the path. Every winter, the villagers place this lantern here. When evening comes, someone lights it. Its warm light helps travelers find the path home after dark. Samuel gently cleans a little snow from the glass. The lantern looks beautiful. Simple, but kind. Just then, an old fisherman walks toward him. His name is Thomas. He carries a small basket of fresh fish. Good afternoon, Samuel. Good afternoon, Thomas. Thomas smiles at the lantern. I remember when my father built that. Samuel looks at it again. It has been here for many years. Thomas nods. And every winter, someone lights it. They stand quietly for a moment, watching the frozen lake, watching the soft snow fall. Thomas says, "It is funny. A small light can help so many people." Samuel smiles. Yes, and a small act of kindness can do the same. As the sun begins to set, the sky turns orange and pink. Thomas takes a small match from his pocket. He opens the lantern. Then he lights the little flame inside. A warm, golden light begins to shine. It is not bright, it is not large, but it is enough. Enough to light the snowy path. Enough to welcome anyone walking home. Samuel watches the gentle light. It reminds him of every letter he has delivered, every smile he has seen, every kind word he has heard. Sometimes, small things make the biggest difference. Samuel thanks Thomas. Then he begins the walk home. The little lantern glows behind him. Its warm light shines quietly in the snowy evening. Back at his cabin, Samuel lights his own lamp. The fire crackles softly. He sits in his favorite chair with a warm blanket. Outside, the stars fill the Alaskan sky. The frozen lake
rests peacefully beneath the moonlight. And beside the quiet path, the little lantern continues to shine, helping every traveler find the way home. Take a slow, peaceful breath. Let your shoulders relax. The room is warm. The fire glows softly. Outside, the snow is still deep. But something is changing. The days are becoming a little longer. The morning sun rises a little earlier. Spring is slowly finding its way to Frost Willow. Samuel wakes before sunrise, just as he always does. He lights the fire. He makes a warm cup of tea. Then he stands by the window. A tiny bird lands on a tree branch outside. Samuel smiles. "I haven't seen you for many weeks," he whispers. The little bird sings a short song. Then it flies away into the quiet forest. After breakfast, Samuel walks to the post office. Crunch, crunch, crunch. The snow is firm beneath his boots. When he opens the wooden door, he finds only one letter on his desk. Just one. He looks at it and smiles. Only one letter today. He gently places it inside his old leather mailbag. Then he begins his walk. The village is peaceful. Children are building snow castles in her bakery window. Mr. David is sweeping snow from the front of his store. Everyone waves as Samuel passes. Soon, he reaches a small cabin near the edge of the forest. The letter belongs to Mr. George. George is an old carpenter. He spends his days making tables, chairs, and little wooden toys. Samuel knocks softly. Knock, knock. The door opens. George smiles. "Good morning, Samuel." "Good morning. I have a letter for you." George takes the envelope carefully. "It is from my grandson," he says. "He moved to another town last year." Samuel smiles. "I hope he is doing well." George opens the letter slowly. He reads a few lines. Then his face fills with joy. "He is coming home in the spring." Samuel's smile grows even wider. "That is wonderful news." George folds the letter carefully. "I think this is the best letter I have received all winter." Samuel nods. Some letters carry more than words. They carry hope. George quietly agrees. Before Samuel leaves, George walks to his workshop. A few moments later, he returns with a small wooden bird. It is carved by hand. Every feather is smooth. Every detail is beautiful. "I made this for you," George says, "so you will always remember this winter." Samuel holds the little bird gently. "It is beautiful. Thank you, my friend." He places it safely inside his coat pocket. As the afternoon slowly fades, Samuel walks back toward the village. The sun shines softly across the snow. Tiny drops of water fall from the roofs. The ice is beginning to melt. Winter is slowly saying goodbye. Samuel stops for a moment. He looks across the quiet village. He feels thankful. Thankful for every peaceful morning, every warm smile, every letter, every friendship. Back inside his cabin, he places the little wooden bird on the shelf beside the children's drawing, the wooden snowflake, and the old bookmark. His shelf is becoming full, not with expensive things, but with beautiful memories. The fire burns gently. The room grows quiet. Outside, the stars slowly appear above Alaska.
beyond the snowy forest, spring is taking its very first gentle steps toward Frost Willow. Take a slow, peaceful breath. Let your eyes become heavy. Let every breath help you feel calm. Outside, the long winter is slowly coming to an end. The snow is still on the ground, but today, something feels different. Samuel wakes before sunrise. The fire in his cabin is still warm. He adds one more log. The flames dance softly. He makes a cup of hot tea. Then he walks to the window. For a moment, he simply stands there. The sky is clear. The mountains shine in the early morning light. Then he hears something. A bird. It sings a soft morning song. Samuel smiles. "The first bird of spring," he whispers. "It is good to hear you again." After breakfast, he puts on his coat. Today, he does not need his heavy winter gloves. The air is still cold, but it feels softer. He picks up his old leather mailbag. Then he walks toward the post office. Crunch, crunch, crunch. The snow beneath his boots is beginning to melt. Small drops of water fall from the roofs. The village feels full of quiet hope. At the post office, there are several letters waiting. Samuel sorts them carefully. Then he begins his morning walk. His first stop is Emma's little cabin. The little red mailbox is standing beside the path, just as bright as always. Emma opens the door before Samuel can knock. "Good morning, Mr. Samuel." "Good morning, Emma. I have a letter for your mother." Emma smiles. "My mother will be happy." Samuel hands her the letter. Then Emma points toward a small flower beside the path. "Look!" Samuel looks down. A tiny purple flower is glowing through the melting snow. It is the first flower of spring. "It is beautiful," Samuel says. Emma smiles proudly. "I found it this morning." Samuel nods. "Spring has finally arrived." Emma laughs happily. "I think the flowers were waiting for us." Samuel smiles. Maybe they were. He continues walking through the village. More people are outside today. Children are playing without their thick winter coats. Mrs. Rose has opened the bakery windows. The smell of fresh bread fills the cool air. Mr. David places flower pots outside his store. Everyone seems to be smiling a little more. Even the sun feels warmer. By the afternoon, Samuel finishes delivering the last letter. Instead of going home right away, he walks to the little wooden bridge. The frozen river is changing. Small streams of water are beginning to flow beneath the ice. Samuel leans gently against the wooden rail. He closes his eyes. He listens. The soft sound of moving water is returning. Winter is slowly saying goodbye. Spring is quietly saying hello. Samuel takes a deep breath. Every season has its own beauty. Winter brings peaceful snow. Spring brings new life. Both are wonderful, in their own way. As the sun begins to set, golden light fills the sky. The snow shines like glass. The little purple flower stands quietly beside the path. A gentle breeze moves through the pine trees. Samuel smiles. This has been another beautiful day. He walks back to his cabin. The fire is waiting. His favorite chair is waiting. A warm cup of tea is waiting. Outside, the stars slowly appear above Alaska.
the village becomes quiet once again. And somewhere beneath the melting snow, thousands of little flowers are preparing to bloom, one peaceful day at a time. Take a slow, peaceful breath. The moon is warm. The world is quiet. Outside, spring has gently arrived in Frost Willow. Most of the snow has melted. Small streams of clear water flow beside the village paths. The pine trees are deep green. The air feels fresh and clean. Samuel wakes early, just as he always does. He lights the fire for a little while. The mornings are still cool. He makes a warm cup of tea. Then he opens the window. A soft breeze enters the cabin. He smiles. It is going to be a beautiful day. After breakfast, Samuel walks to the post office. Crunch, crunch. His boots no longer walk on deep snow. Now they step over soft ground and small patches of melting ice. Inside the post office, only a few letters are waiting. Samuel sorts them carefully. Then he begins his morning walk. His first stop is Mrs. Rose's bakery. The smell of fresh bread fills the air. Mrs. Rose waves from the door. "Good morning, Samuel."
Good morning, Rose. She places a small basket on the counter. Inside are warm bread, fresh apples, and sweet blueberry pie. Samuel smiles. Someone is having a picnic. Mrs. Rose laughs. The whole village is. It is our first spring picnic. Samuel nods. I almost forgot. After delivering the last letter, Samuel walks toward a grassy hill outside the village. Many families are already there. Children are running across the grass. Some are flying small kites. Others are picking tiny wildflowers. The air is filled with quiet laughter. Not loud, just happy. Emma runs over to Samuel. "Mr. Samuel, we saved a place for you." She points to a blanket under a tall pine tree. Samuel thanks her. He sits down slowly. The warm sun shines through the branches. A gentle breeze moves the leaves. Someone pours fresh lemonade into wooden. Someone else cuts slices of warm bread. There is homemade jam, cheese, fresh berries, and apple pie. Everyone shares their food. Everyone shares their stories. No one is in a hurry. After lunch, the children ask Samuel to tell them a story. Samuel smiles. He begins speaking in his calm, gentle voice. When I was a young postmaster, I thought my job was only to carry letters. The children listened quietly. But after many years, I learned something. A letter is more than paper. It carries love. It carries hope. It carries memories. And sometimes it reminds people that they are never alone. The children smile. I hope I can write letters like that one day. Samuel nods. I think you will. As the afternoon slowly passes, everyone watches the clouds drift across the blue sky. Birds sing from the pine trees. A butterfly lands on a yellow flower. Everything feels peaceful. As the sun begins to set, families slowly gather their baskets. They wave goodbye. See you tomorrow. Have a peaceful evening. Samuel walks home with a quiet smile. His heart feels full.
Not because of the food, not because of the sunshine, but because he spent another beautiful day with kind people. Back at his cabin, he lights the small lamp beside his chair. He pours one last cup of tea. Outside, the stars begin to appear above Alaska. The village becomes quiet once again. A gentle breeze moves through the tall pine trees. And somewhere in the peaceful night, the happy memories of this beautiful spring day begin to settle softly into every heart. Take a slow, peaceful breath. Feel your body become heavy. Let the quiet evening carry away every busy thought. Outside, the sky above Frost Willow is clear. The air is cool. Spring is now filling the little village with new life. Small flowers bloom beside the paths. The trees wear fresh green leaves. Birds sing from the branches. Another peaceful day begins. Samuel wakes early. He lights the fire for a few minutes. The mornings are still cool. He makes a warm cup of tea. Then he steps outside. The sun is slowly rising above the mountains. Golden light touches the rooftops. The village looks peaceful, just as it always has. Samuel smiles. He picks up his old leather mailbag. Then he walks toward the post office. When he opens the door, he notices something unusual. A single envelope is lying in the middle of his desk. It looks old. The paper has become soft with time. The corners are a little worn. Samuel gently picks it up. There is a small note attached. It says, "This letter could not be delivered many years ago." Samuel reads the note once more. Then he sits quietly. He remembers. Many years ago, a young man left Frost Willow to work in another town. Before leaving, he wrote a letter to his grandfather. But the grandfather had already moved away. The letter never reached him. For many years, it stayed safely in the post office. Samuel had always hoped that one day it would find its home. He opens the old village records. Slowly, he turns the pages. Then, he smiles. The young man's family now lives in a small cabin near the river. Perhaps the letter still belongs there. Samuel carefully places the envelope inside his mailbag. Then, he begins his walk. The morning is calm. Children wave as they pass. Mrs. Rose smiles from her bakery. Mr. David waters the flowers outside his store. Soon, Samuel reaches the little cabin. A young woman opens the door. "Good morning?" "Good morning," Samuel replies kindly. "I believe this letter belongs to your family." She looks surprised. "My family?" Samuel nods. It is an old letter. She calls her father. A kind man walks slowly to the door. When he sees the handwriting, he becomes very quiet. "My father wrote this," he whispers. "I have never seen this letter." He carefully opens the envelope. Inside are simple words. The young man had written about missing his family, about hoping to come home one day, and about how much he loved his grandfather. The man smiles gently. "My father did come home. He stayed with us for many happy years." He closes the letter carefully. It arrived late, but it still found its family. Samuel smiles. Sometimes the right moment takes many years. The man thanks Samuel with warm eyes. "I will keep this letter safe. It is now part of our family story." Samuel tips his hat. Then he continues his peaceful walk through the village. The afternoon sun shines softly. The river flows gently beside the path. Birds fly across the bright blue sky. Back at his cabin, Samuel lights the small lamp beside his chair. He pours a warm cup of tea. He thinks about the old letter. It took many years to reach its home, but in the end, it arrived exactly where it belonged. Samuel smiles softly. "Some journeys are longer than others," he whispers. "But every kind message deserves a place to rest." Outside, the stars slowly appear above the quiet Alaskan sky. The village becomes peaceful once again. The wind is gentle. The night is calm. And another beautiful day comes to a quiet and gentle end. Take a slow, peaceful breath. Let your body become soft. Let every thought drift away like a cloud in the sky. Outside, the morning is quiet. The air is fresh. Spring has fully arrived in Frost Willow. The snow has almost disappeared. Green grass is growing once again. Small yellow flowers bloom beside the path. The birds begin singing before the sun rises. Samuel wakes with a gentle smile. He opens the window. Cool morning air fills the little cabin. He hears the sound of the river. The ice has melted. The water is flowing gently again. "It sounds beautiful," he whispers. After a simple breakfast, Samuel walks to the post office. There are only a few letters today. He smiles. It will be another peaceful day. He carefully places each letter into his old leather mailbag. Then he begins his morning walk. The village is full of life. Children are playing outside. Mrs. Rose places fresh flowers in front of her bakery. Mr. David paints a small wooden bench outside his store. Everything feels fresh. Everything feels new. Samuel delivers each letter with his usual warm smile. By the afternoon, his mailbag is empty. Every letter has reached its home. Instead of going straight home, Samuel decides to visit Eagle Hill. It is a small hill just outside the village. From the top, you can see the whole valley, the river, the pine trees, the little cabins, and the distant mountains. Samuel has loved this place since he was a young man. He walks slowly up the hill. The path is easy now. The snow is gone. Wildflowers grow on both sides. Butterflies move gently from flower to flower. When Samuel reaches the top, he sits on an old wooden bench. The same bench has been there for many years. He looks down at Frost Willow. The village is peaceful. Thin smoke rises from a few chimneys. Children wave to each other as they walk home. A fisherman slowly rows his small boat across the river. A dog runs happily beside him. Everything is calm. Everything feels just right. As the sun begins to set, the sky becomes golden, then orange, then soft pink. The mountains shine in the evening light. Samuel watches quietly. He does not hurry. He knows sunsets should never be rushed. A bald eagle circles high above the valley. It glides through the sky without making a sound. Samuel smiles. That is why this place is called Eagle Hill. The eagle slowly disappears beyond the mountains. The evening becomes quieter. Samuel closes his eyes for a moment. He listens to the wind moving through the tall pine trees. He listens to the river below. He listens to the peaceful silence. Sometimes Silence is the most beautiful song of all. As the last light of the day fades away, Samuel stands up. He looks at the village one more time. Then he quietly says, "Thank you for another beautiful day." He walks back down the hill. Small lights begin to glow inside the village homes. Families gather for dinner. Children prepare for bed. The stars slowly appear in the dark blue sky. Back inside his cabin, Samuel lights the little lamp beside his favorite chair. He pours one last cup of warm tea. The fire glows softly. Outside, the peaceful village falls asleep beneath the stars. And Eagle Hill stands quietly, watching over Frost Willow, just as it has for many, many years. Take one last slow, peaceful breath. Let your body rest. Let your mind become quiet. The fire is warm. The night is calm, and one final story is waiting for you. The sun had not yet risen over Frost Willow. The village was still asleep. Only the birds were awake. Their soft songs filled the cool morning air. Samuel opened his eyes, just as he had done for many years. He smiled. Today felt peaceful, very peaceful. He placed another log on the fire. The little cabin became warm. He made a cup of hot tea. Then he sat beside the window. Outside, the first light of morning touched the mountains. The river moved slowly through the valley. The pine tree stood quietly in the fresh spring air. Samuel looked around his little cabin. The children's drawings still hung beside the fireplace. The wooden snowflake was hanging nearby. The carved bird rested on the shelf. The handmade bookmark was inside his favorite book. Each small gift reminded him of a kind person. Each one carried a happy memory. Samuel whispered, "What a wonderful life." After breakfast, he picked up his old leather mailbag. He walked slowly to the post office. The little clock was still ticking. Tick, tick, tick. Only one letter was waiting. Just one. Samuel smiled. He looked at the envelope. It was addressed to him. It simply said, "For our dear friend, Samuel." He sat quietly before opening it. Inside, there was one piece of paper. Many people from the village had written their names at the bottom. At the top were simple words. Thank you for every smile. Thank you for every letter. Thank you for every kind day you gave us. Frost Willow will always remember you. Samuel read the letter slowly. Then he closed his eyes. A gentle smile appeared on his face. Not because he wanted praise, but because he knew kindness had found its way home. Later that morning, the villagers gathered outside the post office. Mrs. Rose brought warm bread. Mr. David carried fresh flowers. The children held colorful drawings. Emma walked up to Samuel. She gave him a small wooden box. Samuel opened it carefully. Inside was a tiny silver key. Emma smiled. It doesn't open a real door. It is the key to our little post office. So you will always know you are part of this village. Samuel's eyes became warm. He thanked her quietly. Then everyone shared tea together. They laughed. They told old stories. They remembered happy days. No one was in a hurry. The afternoon became evening. Samuel walked one last time through the village. Every house looked familiar. Every path held a memory. Every smile reminded him of the life he had lived. Before going home, he stopped at the little wooden bridge, then at the frozen lake, now filled with clear spring water. Finally, he climbed Eagle Hill, the same place where he had watched so many sunsets. The sky slowly turned golden, then orange, then soft pink. The village below looked peaceful, just as it always had. Samuel took one slow breath, then another. He smiled at the quiet valley. "Take care of each other," he whispered. "The smallest acts of kindness are often remembered the longest." A gentle breeze moved through the pine trees. Birds flew across the evening sky. The first stars appeared above Alaska. Samuel stood quietly for one last moment. Then he walked slowly home. The warm light from his cabin welcomed him. The fire was waiting, his favorite chair was waiting, and a peaceful night was waiting. Outside, the little village of Frost Willow became silent. The river flowed gently. The trees swayed softly. The stars watched over every home. And somewhere, in that quiet village, people would always remember the kind old postmaster who carried not only letters, but hope, friendship, and peace, one gentle step at a time. Now, the fire grows softer. The night becomes deeper. The stars shine quietly above the mountains. And it is time to close your eyes, to rest, to dream. Good night.